This tutorial is for 4th grade, Module 3, Lesson 28. In this lesson, we're going to use the forgiving method to divide greater numbers. This is also known as the partial quotient method. As before, using this method of division allows all students to enter the problem at a level that's comfortable to them. I'm going to start with 574 divided by 2. 574 is the dividend, and that goes inside the bracket. 2 is the divisor. I'm going to start thinking of greater multiples of 2. I know I have to go fairly large because I'm pulling groups of 2 out of 574. I could start by just taking 100 groups of 2, which would be 200. And I'll subtract that. So off to the right, we're going to write how many groups of 2 we're taking out of 574. When I subtract, that leaves 374. That tells me I can take another 100 groups of 2 out of 374. Subtract, and I have 174 left. Well, I can't take another 100 groups of 2 out, but I could take 50 groups. 50 groups of 2 is 100. I'll subtract that, and I have 74 left. I'm just going to continue with numbers I'm comfortable with. Let's see, I know that 2 times 25 is 50. I'll subtract that, and I have 24 left, and I know that 2 times 12 is 24. I've taken all the groups of 2 out of 574 that I can. Now I have to determine how many groups I took out. Well, if I count, I have 200, 250, 275, 287. That means that 574 divided into 2 equal groups equals 287. Some students might be able to move through this problem a little more quickly, and that's definitely something we want to encourage. Here's an example of how another student might attack the same problem. Another student might know that they can take 200 groups of 2 right from the start. 200 times 2 is 400. They can start by subtracting 400, and you can see how this is going to get them through the problem a little quicker. 4 minus 0 is 4. 7. Now I'm down to 174. Here I can take 50 times 2 to get 100. And I have 74 left. I could also take 30 groups of 2, which is 60. And that would leave 14. And then I know 7 groups of 2 would use up that 14. If I add up the groups again, I have 250, 280, 287. Gets me the same answer as before, just works me through the problem a little quicker. Let's look at one more example. Here I have 861 divided by 3. Let's see, I'm going to start with 3 times 200, because that would be 600, and that seems like a good place to start. I subtract, and I get 261. I'm going to start with, well, I know I can't do 100 because that would be 300. That's too big. How about if I do 80? Because 8 times 3 is 24. 80 times 3 would be 240. That gets me pretty close here. Subtract. I have 21 left. 3 times 7 is 21. And that gets me through the problem. I add up the number of groups. 200 plus 80 plus 7 is also 287. Again, we want the students to feel comfortable entering the problem at a level that's equal to their ability level, but we do want to encourage them to move through the problems a little bit faster each time, if possible.